Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I just want to talk to you about my tea dyed paper, or coffee dyed. You can do tea or coffee. It turns out much the same. These ones were coffee dyed, and I'll put the link up here to my previous video of me doing these. Now I have since got some packs in Etsy, and they will come in a pack of 4 different plastic tablecloth lace. Okay, you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, but you'll get 4 different laces, okay, in that pack. And they'll all vary because they have been cut out of different parts of the tablecloth. So you have to keep that in mind. You don't get exactly what I've shown you here on camera. But I've done my best to get 4 different patterns in each little pack. Now they, like I said, they're on sale now in my Etsy store, and 4 have already sold, so I've only got 16 left. I had 20 packs. Okay, so you can pop over there and have a look at them. I'll have the link below to my Etsy store. Now when I did these, I had a question as well. I've had a few questions. Can you use fabric lace to dye these with? And or have you tried, or I think someone wrote fabric lace is way more superior or something like that, and I said, well, have you tried it? Did it turn out? And they didn't answer. So so I thought, well, that's going to give me a good excuse to pop down to the Opshop and buy a couple of things. Alright, so I went out to the Opshop and I just bought some really cheap pieces of curtaining and a really cheap tablecloth. And then I bought a pack of these little placemats that were $1. Right, keeping in mind what they look like. They turn out pretty good, don't they? Right, I'll just put them up there out of the way. And I'll show you the bits of tablecloth and lace that I got. Now these were really cheap. And this was just some curtaining, and I picked laces and curtaining that were that really polyester, you know, that it's pretty much plastic anyway, but they, you know, make things with it as a fabric. So I thought, well, if anything's gonna work, I'll try the things that are made out of, like the polyester and, you know, those more unnatural type fibers. So I got that curtaining, and I got a piece of this curtaining. They were mainly like you know, the old style cafe style curtains. There was quite a bit of that in the Opshop, so I grabbed a piece of that, and I grabbed a tablecloth which I've already cut some pieces out of. That's what it looks like. And you can feel that it's more that synthetic fabric. So I thought, well, that's going to work probably the best if it is going to work. And I also grabbed these. There was a pack of little doily placemats for $1. I think there was 4 in there. And they were really, you could tell that they were synthetic as well. So I thought, well, that's going to be a good sort of trial on laces to see what is going to work. Now, in the way of fabric, I got a long placemat that looks like this. And it is also synthetic because you can feel that it is. And I just cut one end off that to try that. Now I also popped in the mix a crochet doily, another little placemat that was similar to this sort of fabric, and yeah, 2 different crochet doilies to try on that as well, because I thought, well, if I'm gonna have to try a couple of different, you know, types of fabric to see whether this is gonna work. So I dyed these in exactly the same way as I did the plastic lace, and laid them on the table, left them to dry, and came out and then checked them once they were all crispy and dry, and this is how they peeled off. Okay, and here is a look at what the laces ended up looking like. You could see how bright white they were, or cream, beforehand. And what I did was I dipped my paper, just one paper at a time like previously, and then I dipped my piece of fabric to wet it as well. I didn't put it on dry. Now I don't know whether that could make a difference or not. That's something to try as well, but I put it on wet. Okay, and that's what the different laces came out like. And you know, if they I can use them in all sorts of other things as well, to just use on my stitching or whatever, because they look beautiful now, coffee dyed. Alright, but I'll show you how the paper came out. Alright, this one was the cafe curtaining. I'll just show you one at a time. This was the cafe curtaining. You can see those holes here at the bottom. Now that did not come out near as well as the plastic lace, even though this is a synthetic. Okay, that was one of them. I'll show you another one. This one here was the piece of tablecloth. Now if you like this muted look, then by all means have a go at it. So this one was the tablecloth that I cut up, and you can see the flowers here in it, but it does not come out near as crisp as my previous ones using the plastic tablecloth. But in saying that, if you like this muted look, then go right ahead and try it, because you know, you can get these fabrics, tablecloths and stuff like that, for next to nothing in the op shops. Okay, so if you like that look, then go right ahead. My next one was this really thin curtain, and this is how it turned out. Very, very, very subtle. Now this could all depend on how much coffee I used. I actually used a different type of paper because I ran out of my good copy paper, and this was the paper I said not to use because it's very thin. It was a recycled copy paper and I just don't like it, so that could have something to do with it. I'm not sure, but that's how this thin one came out. And then there was one more, and that was our little placemat, and that's how this came out. So it did give an impression, but it didn't give a nice crisp impression. Okay, so that was the laces. Now look at the laces that I did, or the more curtainy type bits and pieces. Now I have some different papers outside at the moment drying, and they are done with more they're a polyester as well, but they're more closed in fabric with prints on them, or designs on them, and we'll see how they turned out as well. So here's what the other bits and pieces look like on the table drying. They were more flat fabric, but with some raised designs on it, and then there was a couple of doilies in the mix as well. So I also pulled out one of my plastic placemats, and we'll put that on and compare it when we pull up this. This is still wet, so when it's dry we'll pull them up and compare them as well. Okay, they're dry, and we'll peel them up and check out how they fared. The doilies. And the last one was our plastic lace. This was a little plastic doily, and look at that, it is spectacular. Alright, so let's take a closer look at this last lot that I pulled off the table. Now I'll just grab the bits and pieces of fabric that I used. This was a synthetic type, just little placemat thing, and it gave me a very, very, very subtle effect here. Not that impressed with that one, but if you're after that subtle look, then that can work. Okay, my next one was this piece of oh gosh, some sort of, yeah, synthetic or polyester or whatever, you know, just that sort of a real plasticky feel tablecloth. This was a table runner, and that's how this turned out, and I wasn't too disappointed in this one. I like the effect that it left on that, but in saying that too, it wasn't crisp. It was quite subtle as well, and a bit blurred, but I did like that one. Okay, my next one were a couple of doilies, and these were just made out of cotton doilies. And that's this doily. So it left a very subtle look as well. And then my last one, which I don't like this paper at all because it does rip it so thin, was this little sandwich doily, and that's how it turned out on the edge of the paper. So yeah, not real good. Just a subtle mark of it being there. And then by just a no-brainer comparison is this plastic doily. This is one I found not too long ago, and I hadn't given it a go, so I thought, well, I'll give that a go and compare it to some of the other fabrics that I tried, and look at it, it's just stunning, absolutely stunning. So I just laid the two papers down, and instead of cutting this doily, which I don't cut my doilies, the plastic doilies, I find I just put the paper together, and I lay it down face down onto the paper so that the raised edge goes down that way. So the person that wrote that using fabric you'll get a more perfect outcome, I don't agree. I totally don't agree. The proof is in the dyeing, you know, the proof is there that these other bits and pieces that I've done are not near as well dyed as the plastic version. Okay, so that's just a comparison, guys. I hope that has shown you. If you are interested in just doing whatever you've got around the house, give it a go. Don't think you just have to have this plastic lace. Give it a go, because it will give you an impression, but it won't give you an impression near as good as this plastic lace and doily material. So if you're interested in those plastic pieces that I have on Etsy, get on there quick, because they won't last long, because it's quite hard to find that plastic tablecloth here in Australia. I have picked all mine up from the Opshops, and as I find them, if it's a big tablecloth, I will cut it up and share it with whoever wants to buy it in my Etsy store. So yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed looking at that comparison today to the plastic tablecloths and doilies to the fabric ones, which in my opinion do not come out near as crisp and pretty as the plastic. Okay, so thank you to the lady who did leave that comment. She said, I think the key to perfection is fabric lace, and I don't agree. I don't agree, but you know, you do you, and whatever turns out and makes you happy, that's okay. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed looking at that today. If you're new here, please like, share and subscribe. I would love to have you here with me on my channel. And take care, guys. It's a hot day out there. That's why I thought I'll do this today, because it is so hot. It did not take long for that to dry outside. So while this hot weather's on, I still may do a few more of these ones, especially this one, because I haven't tried this one before and it came out quite pretty. Right, so take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.